Happy Friday, good afternoon. Hope you had a good week. Hope you're looking forward to the weekend. The question that I wanted to answer today is, do you or should you weigh yourself every day? For me, that's always been a huge no. I've always had the feeling that, weighing yourself on a daily basis is too much of a temptation to gauge your entire value, as a human being based upon what you see on the scale. And I think that to me has always felt like, a recipe for frustration and discouragement and, not healthy for your self-image. So that's always been my personal opinion. I never weigh myself. I might weigh myself once a year. I get weighed when I go to the doctor's office, once or twice a year, but I never weigh myself. On the other hand, my wife weighs herself every day. So my version works for me, her version works for her. So the answer to the question, should I weigh myself every day, is it depends. It depends on who you are, it depends upon your circumstances, and it depends upon what you do with the information that you get from the scale. So my belief, as I mentioned earlier, has always been that weighing yourself on a daily basis offers too much of an opportunity for self-judgment and self-abuse. Turns out there are people in the mental health professions who feel the same way, who say that weighing yourself on a daily basis can create obsession, it can contribute to depression, it can contribute to anxiety, and all that makes sense to me. However, when I dug a little deeper into it, there's not a lot of research, but there is a little bit of research that runs to the contrary on that. So the American Heart Association conducted a study of over 1,000 people. They tracked them for a year or so. And what they discovered is that the people who weighed themselves on a daily basis lost an average of almost 2% of their total body weight, whereas the people who weighed themselves once a week or less lost nothing. So clearly, the data show that it can be useful. And that's a process that is known as self-monitoring. And self-monitoring is basically just analyzing and overseeing your own behavior and tracking it, and then using that information, using that data to determine whether or not you're on the right path or you're headed toward your stated objective. So in brief, the answer to, should I weigh myself every day is, I don't know. Does it work for you? If it does, then by all means continue to do it. If it makes you feel crappy about yourself, then take a look at that. I mean, is that a smart thing to do on a daily basis? Does it make sense for you to get on that scale and then use that information to diminish your self-esteem? To me, that doesn't make sense. Now, I want to offer my own personal opinion on this that has nothing to do with science, and it has nothing to do with research. It just has to do with my own personal opinion, my experience, based on being in this industry for 25 years, being in the fitness industry for 25 years, and working with a lot of people. My take is that I can see where weighing yourself on a daily basis would be beneficial if you have an actual plan of action in place. If you have a specific protocol for managing your health, for managing your weight, for helping you produce the outcome that you're seeking. So in order to have that sort of a protocol, it needs to be specific. You need to have the knowledge necessary to design and implement a science-based protocol for managing your health and your wellness and your weight, or you need to hire somebody to help you do that, a coach, a trainer, a healthcare professional of some kind. But if you have a well-crafted, well-designed plan of action in place in which you're taking daily actions to achieve a specific objective, then yeah, I can see how weighing yourself on a daily basis would make sense, because then you're getting a constant stream of data back. You're getting constant feedback to inform you as to whether or not the plan, the protocol that you're following is leading you toward the stated objective. And if it's not, you can course correct really quickly. If you're getting the results, if you're weighing yourself on a daily basis and you're seeing the data that shows you that you're leading, you're heading toward your goal, then stay the course. And if it shows you that you are not heading toward your stated objective, then you can make modifications to your program, or you can sit down with your trainer or your coach or the healthcare professional, and they can help you make modifications to your program. That makes sense, because weighing yourself on a daily basis would give you constant feedback so that you wouldn't get too off the track, too off track, get off into the weeds too much, and which would make it difficult for you to get back on track. So my opinion is that it would make sense if you have a specific protocol, a well-crafted specific protocol in place for managing your health, your weight, and your wellness. Yeah, weighing yourself on a daily basis seems to me sensible, and that it would give you the data that you need to know whether or not your plan is working for you. On the other hand, if you're winging it, and I will tell you that if you want to lose weight, if you want to improve your health, if you want to change your body, not just physically, not just cosmetically rather, but if you want to change the way that you function, if you want to optimize your health, if you want to lose weight, look better, you can't wing it. If you're winging it, if you're just kind of ad-libbing and making it up as you go along, you're not going to get there. So if you are winging it, or if you're doing nothing at all to promote your health and your wellness, then why on earth would you be weighing yourself on a daily basis? That doesn't make sense to me at all. That's a crapshoot. You're just rolling the dice. You're not doing anything specific. You're not doing anything proactively to produce a result that you're seeking. You are just reactively seeing what sort of circumstances have arisen on a daily basis. You're just kind of getting on the scale and hoping that the stars are aligned and that you get a reading that makes you feel good about yourself. But if you're winging it, or if you don't have an actual plan in place at all, if you aren't doing anything to promote your health, your wellness, or to manage your weight, it doesn't make any sense at all to me to weigh yourself on a daily basis. So that, in a nutshell, is it. Should I weigh myself every day or not? It depends. Number one, if it gives you the information that you feel is useful enough to inform you as to whether or not you're progressing in the direction you want to go in, by all means, weigh yourself every day. If it makes you feel like shit, why are you doing it? I would recommend you stop. And then my recommendation personally is that if you have a specific plan of action in place, a well-designed plan of action, then it makes sense to me that weighing yourself on a daily basis makes sense, so that you can accumulate the consistent feedback you need to determine whether you're progressing in the right direction. But if you're winging it, or if you're doing nothing proactive at all to promote your health, to improve your weight, it doesn't make sense to weigh yourself on a daily basis. That's it. That's it for today. Very simple topic, but I know a lot of people weigh themselves on a daily basis, or probably too much, more often than is good for their mental health. So I wanted to clarify that for anybody who's interested. Hope you had a good week. If you have any questions or any comments, just put them in the comments section below. If you know somebody who drives himself crazy by getting on the scale every day, share this information. Maybe it'll help them out. I'll be back next week to talk about some more health and wellness related stuff. Until then, have a great weekend.